The next thing in my notes talks about the ILA frequency. A good starting point is 1.7 kilohertz. That's in menu 3, which is ILA bias menu, and then number 4. I've got mine currently set to 2, so I want to back that off to 1.7. You'll notice that as you back that frequency down, the system actually runs brighter. The lower the frequency, the brighter it is. The temptation would be to just run it at the brightest that you can, but the trade-off is that there's image lag. So when you start running lower frequencies, you'll have a smearing effect. 2 kilohertz is better for high def, but that's your judgment. I have fast phosphor tube, so I can get away with a lower frequency without the lag being an issue. So that's good. My notes say to set the bulb current to low. Okay, that on this particular model, which is a 370, on the power supply unit, there's a white plug up there, and right next to that plug is a small potentiometer, and I just go in there and tweak that down. I didn't go to the lowest setting, but you don't want to be cooking the bulb at this point. You're drawing an awful lot of electricity, and it's kind of a waste of power to have the bulb cooking really fast, really hot during a config process like this. Set the G2s kind of high. That's done on the high voltage power supply. Right there. Label G2, red, green, and blue. On the 360 model, you can just adjust these pots. On all of the other models, you've got to do one thing first. You got to open the card cage by tilting it back, and on the driver boards of the CRTs are 3 jumpers. Those need to be removed. If you don't remove those jumpers, then adjusting the high voltage power supply will have no effect on the G2. The board will actually compensate for a low or high voltage power supply setting. So you want to take those jumpers off first so that you have control. And at this point, just set the G2s to the point where you can see video on the screen. Right now I've got test pattern 9 pulled up, and it's kind of grayish looking, so I can see red, green, and blue, which is what you need. The next step is to unblank the screen. There's a button on the remote called blanking, and you want to set the left to 0. So if I hit the blank button, it says left edge, and I'm going to kick that back to 0. And notice that there's a little overwrap happening on the screen there. Don't worry about that yet. That's normal. Hit the blank button again. The right edge is at 76. We want that to be 100, and notice the wrapping effect happening on that side of the screen too. That's okay. Hit the blank button again. Our top edge is at 11. We want that at 0, which makes the screen kind of grow in size. And the bottom edge, we're going to crank that down to 100. And notice that retrace lines have appeared on the screen. That's okay. That's normal. Don't worry about that yet. That's completely fine. The next step is electronic focus. At the remote, do menu test 8, which is an H grid. It basically puts a bunch of H's on the screen, and do one color at a time using the cutoff button. Do green, show green, and cut off red and blue, and then use a small screwdriver, jeweler's screwdriver, again on the high voltage power supply, You've got focus adjustments here. It's helpful to have a friend check that screen while you're making the adjustment and just get as sharp as focus as you can on that screen. You might not get it perfect. There are additional focus adjustments that need to happen later, but get it as good as you can. And we can always come back to that electronic focus later. And that's it for this one.